Good morning, welcome to Flory Models Daily Show here on Tuesday the 22nd of November 2016. Just a little quick one before this afternoon, because obviously today at 2 o'clock we will be live with you, me and Steve, for Q&As, alright? And I know a load of you put questions and everything else like that up on the site, so we'll be going through with you. And in a moment I'll talk you through what I'm going to be doing this morning. Just want to clear up a couple of bits and pieces. Obviously, I love doing the little questions that you guys are asking me. I'll take them as well from YouTube page as well. So if it gets liked up and people seem to like particular questions on there, I'll put that and transfer it into the sort of daily vlogs and everything else like that. So if you have got a question, just post it up in there. If it's a good one or something we haven't covered before, I'll use it actually in one of these shows and do it that way. The other thing as well, the ones that I'm sort of doing now are like the Ask Phil ones. These are the ones which are more sort of general to me that I can answer just in front of the camera like this, rather than a specific, perhaps something like an airbrush question or a technique question where it would take a little bit of time to perhaps demo it. And that's the point of doing the Q&A show, is so we can physically show you. So if you've got a problem with the airbrush, I can flick the cameras over, get the actual airbrush out, take it apart, show you the bit we're on about, and that way you can visually see it, which is so much easier than trying to explain things. You know, it's half the reason I got into this, okay, and stuff like that. Same goes with techniques. So if you've got a particular one, tracks seem to come up a lot. I know Steve's got some tracks and some armor bits and pieces that he's primed up, ready to answer questions on. So he can physically get the camera in there, show you, and everything else like that. So that is the point to it. So these questions I'm going to take here are going to be more the ones I can just tell you the answer, rather than physically having to show you stuff, because as I say, not having all the cameras all set up for it can be a little bit of a pain. Alright, so anyway, going on from yesterday, Phil Prisk says, "Hi Phil, I love the stuff from Telford. I've watched your review on the Tamiya Tomcat and what has been said on the vlogs. I think you've been very fair and even-handed, but you keep coming back to the price. I have the Trumpeter 124th SU20, sorry, 148 SU24 in my stash, which is a similar priced kit. Which your build of the kit, clearly that there's problems needed for aftermarket parts, and truly get the best from it. A new cockpit, not a cheap purchase for a start." Okay, then he basically goes on to say about not being straightforward and all the rest of it, and I get what he's talking about. Is obviously think about the price and everything else like that, and he was saying that maybe having the more expensive kits you know, can be sort of a little bit of a treat. I think what we're getting at though with this particular one is that you're paying top price for a kit which is just a shake and bake straight out of the box kit. Normally with that type of money you'd be expecting a little bit more. That's not just my opinion, that's the opinion of a lot of people I know that have built it as well. They've said it's a great kit and all the rest of it, and it goes together absolutely fantastically, but it's just a lot of money for, you know, technically you could go out and buy a lesser kit and throw all the aftermarket at it and have all those glorious bits. Because let's face it, if you was to take the Hasegawa one and threw all the nice bits at it, it goes together actually okay. Okay, it's got a few little problems, but nothing massive that would really be a problem. Shoehorning the cockpit can be a little bit of an issue in there and everything else like that, but it does go at the end of the day. So, you know, it just depends. But that said, the Hasegawa Tomcats, they've gone right up in price. I remember when they were 30 quid. Now they're 60 quid as well if you wanted to buy one, and it's an old kit and all the rest of it. But I was saying it, but when you put it up against other stuff now, we're talking basically Trumpeter, Hobby Boss, things like that. Their prices, although they're going up, they don't seem to be going up as far as Tamiya. Now, I know, and I've spoken to a lot of people about this and everything else like that, I know it's not just, you know, they're trying to make money and all the rest of it. And this is something that perhaps, I don't know if you saw it when I had a bit of a talk about how companies need to make money. And I know Tamiya needs to make probably more money than most. It's not like it's a one-man band and he's just scraping off all the money. They're a huge company. There's probably a massive wage bill there and everything else like that. They need to make money. If the companies don't make money, they won't make more kits. So we want the companies to make a nice healthy profit so they can put those profits back into the company and then work on new tooling, new ways of doing it, new engineering, new injection molding processes, things like that. But the only way they can do that is to actually make a profit. So I'm not having a go at Tamiya for doing it. I'm just simply saying that you're paying a lot of money for something that is just basically an outer shell and it all goes together. I would have liked to have seen a few little innovation things in there and all the rest of it, but as I said before, it's more my thing about Tamiya have always been a AAA company to me. Now they're starting to slip. okay, and everything else like that. And that's all it was. So, but as I said, we have gone on about it. I think I should have worded it a lot better the first time round, but I didn't. And I think people just thought I was having a rant. And it wasn't a rant, it was just that, again, we've seen kits a bit like their Mosquito, beautifully done, and it's all there and it's gorgeous and all the rest of it. But my problem wasn't so much about the kit and how wonderful it is and everything, because it is a stunning kit. It was just that it's got ejector pin marks all over it, and I know you don't see them, but other manufacturers now have moved on where they can get away with it without putting an ejector pin on a part, you know, and stuff like that. So that's all it was. I was just having a go like that. Anyway, Gareth says, hi Phil, to follow up your question, comments on the Tomcat, and we're in for one of them days. Question, do you really need another Tomcat? I've been in the with the modelling community as small as this globe, when compared to the gulf of other hobbies, why do manufacturers keep churning out the same aircraft when there's huge gaps like the Buccaneer 148 132nd or the Mirage F1 in 32nd, even more rare military and civilian aircraft from all over the world? I get excited about new kits that are announced each year, only to find it's another Tomcat Spitfire and the like. Any thoughts on where manufacturers do their market research? Again, Gareth, at the end of the day, it's what sells. It's as simple as that. You know, they know they will sell it. The Tomcat, let's face it, Top Gun was the thing that has made the Tomcat the most famous aircraft probably ever. Recognisable, everybody knows it, everybody's seen it. And it's a good looking aircraft. But then I'm biased because it's one of my favourite aircraft as well. But at the end of the day, it sells. You know, and then you can look at it the other way, that other manufacturers, they churn out like F-16s and stuff like that. They're sold worldwide. Everybody's recognisable to F-16s, so you can put it in your country's markings and all the rest of it. The Tomcat, there's a real love affair with the Tomcat, like there is, to be honest, with the Spitfire and with the Mustang. You know, there's that love affair with it. It's easily recognisable. Everybody knows it. But only recently have we been seeing things like the Hurricane coming out. The Corsair, you know, again, that's another one which was, it's been around and now it's been done because it is in there. But there's other huge gaps around. Like the Hellcat in 32nd, no one seems to have gone down that route or anything else like that. So it does seem to be, it's just that thing that sells. The Buccaneer, again, as well, as much as I'd love it, and let's face it, we know Tang are working on theirs. We had some more CAD work the other week from them. It looks fantastic, and I will buy it, and I will get it, and I will do it, you know. But there's lots of aircraft out there, but I just think that, you know, obviously the Americans, they love the American stuff. British, we love the British stuff. French, German, so forth and so on. And it is that thing. It's a bit like, why do you get Tigers and tanks after Tiger tanks and Shermans after Shermans, all the rest of it? They're popular. People know them. They're recognisable. They're buildable. And people like those types of things in their stash. You know, you get other companies and they try and do other things. And let's face it, Airfix is one of those companies. They throw out really weird stuff, but it works. Trumpeter and Hobby Boss, again, they pull out some really funny stuff occasionally. You're thinking, really? I wouldn't have thought they would have released it, but they do. So kudos to them for doing it. All right, they're not the best, they're not the most accurate sometimes, all the rest of it, but at least you have then got a model of that particular thing. But, you know, again, you know, Tamiya are playing safe these days. That's what they do. As I said, big company, they can't afford to take risks, global turn down, everything else like that. I think they're just being smart, biding their time, obviously investing money into certain areas and pushing through like that. Other companies perhaps are a little bit more risk-taking. You know, Hobby Boss seem to be throwing out a model, or it seems like every week, as something new, something weird and wacky, armour, aircraft, whatever it is, trumpeter stuff as well, and, you know, great, absolutely, gives you that chance. But I think every now and again we'd all like to see something really different and like fantastic. Like, I think from a British point of view, if Tamiya came out and said they were releasing a 132nd Hurricane, it would be fantastic. But I know a lot of the American guys and perhaps the rest of the world wouldn't be very excited about it. And the big thing is, and we've spoken about this on one of the live shows the other day, Tamiya sells to their market, which is Japan. So I can't see them selling many Hurricanes. You know, obviously they're going to get core collectors who'll do it, but generally I don't think it'll be one of those things that everybody will do. Right, and that, I think, gets us up to date on that. So I'm up to date with the questions, because I just wanted to keep us up to date as we went through. Right, okay, so if I take you around the other side, to be honest, we've only just fired everything out. Have you seen this pile? I've just got to show you this. I have, honestly, this is stuff I've got to find a home for, but what the hell do you do with it all? I've got this pile of stuff and everything else, and now we're getting to the realms of having boxes of it all lying everywhere. But this is technically my to-do pile. This, everything you see in front of me, I've got to do something with it, because obviously, as you can see, we've got some reviews in there we haven't mentioned yet and everything else like that. I am going to build this obviously for the 4-day build, and I'm probably going to do something else. I've got these guys which obviously you're going to see next year. We've got this massive thing down here which you're going to see next year. We've got other things down here. I say I've got to review that one. I've got a box of aftermarket down there to go through. Yeah, and to be honest, I keep finding reviews that I didn't realise I needed to do, but I've got them. Right, so down in here, let's get rid of that. Okay, so here we are. As I said in yesterday's show, this thing weighs an absolute ton. It's very stable as well, which is impressive, and it all moves. But there we go. This is our little leggy guy. So far, it's amazing how you'd think, wouldn't you? He's that big, so double him up, but actually he's not. He's only going to be this big when this goes on top, down here, and everything else like that. But as you can see, he is looking the part. To be honest, I went round, the camera plays ball, and I've touched in all these areas. I resprayed them, and there's a couple of little bits where it was a little bit purpley down on here and everything else like that. So to be honest, I went in and I resprayed it. So I took these back off and we resprayed it and all those little things like that. But you can see he's very much looking the part now. I'm just about to film down there because we've already done this one. Okay, again, goes together absolutely beautifully and everything else like that. So we're going to be hopefully cracking on today, and I'm going to do his rocket pods and his bits and pieces, and with any luck we might be able to actually get him into a position where he's almost ready to start going together. As for weathering, not sure what we're going to do with him yet. I'm hoping to have him sort of in a position for weathering next week, but I definitely want him built and everything else like that. So there we go. But as you can see, he's working very, very well. So that's about it for me this morning. Thank you for joining me this morning. As I said, me and Steve are going to be on at 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'll get this edited and up on the site by around about 11ish, something else like that, so you can watch this one as we make our way through. So happy modelling, guys, and I'll see you all at 2 o'clock.